Welcome to another episode of Rugby League Down South. A bit of a special one for you today. News late last night of the Queen's New Year's Honours List. Delighted to read that Martin Coyd of Medway Dragons has been awarded an OBE, and Malcolm Kielty as well received an MBE for their roles that they've played in the development of Rugby League. In particular, Malcolm Kielty for a Wheelchair Rugby League, and of course Martin, all his achievements from bringing the sport into the armed forces a few years ago, and also the work that he's done developing the Medway Dragons and Rugby League in the South. So I thought, why not? I should probably try and catch up with Martin, have a chat with him about what he made of his honour and receiving the news. You may not know, or you may well know, that people who receive honours in the New Year's list or the Queen's birthday list or whenever it is receive a letter from the Queen a good month before, probably, usually in the circumstances, to tell them or to ask them if they would receive the honour. And you then have to keep it a secret until the news becomes public. So the news was made public on the 30th of December, late in the evening. I think it was embargoed until 10 o'clock at night, but then the news came out. It was out into the public domain that Martin Coyd had been given his OBE, but as he tells me now, just finished having a chat with him, he told me that he received the letter on a rather special day for him.
I found it on my birthday in November, which was a pretty special birthday gift. And it's still a bit surreal, to be honest. I still can't quite believe it, although I can see it on the newspaper, and it's some tremendous and enormous amount of goodwill messages and congratulations. And I'd really like to thank people for that. It still doesn't feel real and not supposed to happen to people like me.
When people get awards like this, you know, I guess it's never something you'd ever expect to get.
No, it just doesn't happen. And I think my feelings are that it's an award for our game. It's a pretty special game, as we know. Special people play it, and maybe I've been a figurehead for a while, but it's a recognition for all of the people I work with and associate with for me.
Because also it's not just you, but Malcolm Kielty as well, and he's obviously, well, you know him very well. Yeah,
Malcolm's a legend. Malcolm's been around rugby league and sport, particularly in the Halifax area, all his life. He's part of the Halifax club in some way. And Malcolm's a wheelchair user, and he had the foresight to get Wheelchair Rugby League going in 2005 and started it all off, and it's now very successful and growing all the time. We've got new teams coming all over the country, and I think Wheelchair Rugby League has the potential to go truly global because it's accessible to everybody. Disabled and non-disabled people can play at the same level.
You've been awarded for your services to Rugby League. You've obviously been involved in various different elements of Rugby League. What do you consider to be your main achievements? I know it's difficult sometimes, to, especially for a humble bloke like yourself, to pick out your highlights as to what you've done. But what are you most proud of in your Rugby League history?
I've never ever thought about that or categorised anything to a league table. I had a pretty special summer. In fact, the whole of 2013 has been a fantastic year. Still pinch myself. Career change and great opportunities there. The Wheelchair Rugby League World Cup was incredible. I also had the opportunity to go up to the Armed Forces World Cup. I was around at the beginning of the Armed Forces, which is 20 years old, 2014. So that was a pretty special moment, seeing from a distance. I was just a spectator in the crowd rather than involved, but I felt pretty good there.
You also, I was going to say, you've also been credited for the stuff that you did in the army a few years ago now.
The army was an incredible time. I was a serving soldier at the time, and while there wasn't an outright ban, there was no authority to play rugby league, and there was no opportunities. So we challenged that. Said we do want to play, and it was very interesting, quite emotional. A lot of people got upset in the early 90s. I got a message this morning from a bloke who was there at the beginning and reminded me of an army PT session when the quartermaster found out we'd been playing rugby league in the PT session and apparently nearly had a heart attack. And I remember that well, actually. He did go bananas that we were playing rugby league in organised PT. They were good days. And I think very fondly of those.
And also, while we're on the subject of awards, this isn't the first one you've got this year either, is it? Because as part of the Rugby League World Cup celebrations and the events that went around there, you received a rather special award as well. Yeah,
another complete surprise. I was at the Hall of Fame inauguration dinner. And, Dave Woods, who was on the stage, announced they were going to do the Mike Gregory Award. Previous winners have been Jamie Peacock and Ray French, Steve Prescott, and, legends of the game, Harry Jepson. And I had no idea. But as the sort of tribute was being read out and they mentioned words like Medway Dragons and England Wheelchair and Warrington in the Army, it suddenly hit me that it was me. And to get that award in front of Neil Fox and Roger Millwood and Schofield and Handley and Mick Sullivan was just, again, another unbelievable moment. And I just like this.
And I guess things like that as well just go to show the work that has been done, not by just by yourself, but by your team, other teams, other clubs, other people, other volunteers around the South, and getting that recognition on such a scale must have been really nice, like you say, in front of those people.
Yeah, this is just a team. The whole thing, there's thousands of people involved in rugby league in London and the South, and as well as nearly 1,000 junior players. There's lots of adult players now. The wheelchair thing is growing. We've got 3 wheelchair teams in Kent now. One of the really important people are the families and the parents and the supporters, who are our biggest sponsors, and put in untold hours travelling, washing kit, encouraging and all that type of thing. And we really are becoming a very special, huge, important family. And I still believe, and I'm sure I always will believe, that you've got to be a pretty special person to be able to play rugby league in whatever form. It's a demanding and challenging game, and those people are fantastic. So I guess it might say Martin Coyd OBE, but it's a recognition for all of us and what we do.
And do correct me if I get these facts wrong, but I remember having a chat with you. It was probably just over a year ago, I think, and we were talking off the record, and you said, well, actually, you'd got a new job in your life away from rugby league, and you were sort of having a look at what you were going to be able to offer the Medway Dragons, in your role with them, and things might have to change. You've got quite a global jet-setting job at the moment, as it was. But having said you were thinking, or you were maybe going to have to step down or do less of the rugby league stuff, it seems like 2013 has been another step up for you rugby league wise.
It's been really interesting. I did start a new job on the 1st of March, and I wouldn't describe myself as a jet setter, but I've been to Australia a couple of times, and I travel around Europe. And in fact, this is probably my proudest achievement, actually. It's just come to me now that the fact that Medway Dragons carried on without me there, with some fantastic volunteers and some great people who just embraced the game and the club, and it celebrated its 7th birthday on the 30th of November, and that's really important. That's the special thing. But I'm now settled into my job. I'm stepping back in with a more hands-on role at Medway Dragons next year, looking after primary rugby league, which for me is the most important thing we do. If we get that right, we get primary right, and these young people have a great experience, loads of fun, families and parents in particular like the environment we create, our game will just continue to grow.
And just tell me, a bit of off topic as such, but just tell me a bit more about Primary Rugby League, because I came across it not too long ago, actually. I saw some kids playing it at half-time of one of the Rugby League World Cup games that I was at. But the basis of Primary Rugby League, for one, as a game and a sport, I think it is great. But two, as you say, the importance of it and getting the children into the sport at that age and having them enjoy it, which the rules are determined or sort of swayed towards, is crucial.
Yeah, and we've been on a learning curve, and we've learned a lot and observed from a lot of other sports that we mustn't just mimic the adult 13-a-side game and do that. And a lot of of education has to go on, because a lot of parents and some coaches think it's about length of the field tries from the biggest kid on the field. Martin Rothwell has done a fantastic job in getting around, talking to people and getting people to buy into his vision. The analogy I always use with people is the best soccer teams, the best association football teams in the world are Spain and France and Holland, who, until the kids are in their mid-teens, play small-sided games on small field with a maximum amount of touches on the ball. Consequently, when they're playing the adult game, they're brilliant. Our kids in the UK who've been playing on full-size pitches, when the big kids were just dominant, we're just not very good at senior level now. So that's what primary rugby league is about now. We rotate the players around. You must have a different dummy half in every game. You have different size pitches, 6-a-side, maximum number of passes. If there's a knock-on, you get the ball back because you must complete your set of 6. And losing the ball won't improve the skills of people. So that's a real tough one for people to get their heads around. But I'm absolutely convinced and believe in what we're doing will be making our game great in 10, 20 years' time.
And what about the future for Medway Dragons? I know that obviously with your recognition today, you've had various news agencies and companies wanting to talk to you about sort of what's happened in Kent. What's the future for Medway Dragons and where this club is going? Because everyone always trots out the line, you're looking for a place in the championship and stuff, but that's obviously quite a long way down the line. What's new? What's next for Medway?
Well, we've had a really positive meeting. We've reflected on where we are, and the stuff I was talking about the engaged volunteers who now understand the club. Our ambition is very clear. We do aspire to be a championship club, but we're going to continue to build and get a really strong foundation in the community around Medway and North Kent. And all these little things come together to give us that strength. We're very clear that we want to provide opportunities for everybody in our community to be involved in some way, not just playing. There's lots of things you could do at the Dragons and be part of the wider rugby league family. I'm hoping to have some exciting news coming up before the adult season starts, and we've got some provisions to improve our coaching capability, which I'm hoping will attract players. We've got a great pipeline of juniors coming through, but we've got to bring some experience and some size and some strength in there as well. And 5 years' time, we'll reflect again, but I would be hoping we're climbing up the divisions into Darren Pugsley is running great competitions in London. We continue to learn. There's no shortcuts. We'll be looking to climb the ladder and be knocking on the door of the championship when we're ready.
And I've been lucky over the years to interview a few people who've been given honours in the Queen's various lists that she issues throughout the year, and I sort of know the process of how things work. We've already touched on the fact that you got the letter, you found out the news a while ago and had to keep quiet until the news was released late last night on Monday night. But what happens now? What's the process now in terms of you receiving your OBE? Is this a visit to Buckingham Palace, shake hands with the Queen, etc.?
My wife Tracy is in charge of administration for the Coyd household. she tells me that between now and June, I'll get a letter giving me 7 weeks' notice to go to the palace, so it can happen any time between there and then. And I think we can take 3 people, which is likely to be the women in my family. And we're going to have a day out in London and a couple of beers as well, I guess.
And what has the Coyd family administrator and select family made of your honour?
They're very proud. I said to my mother, "Am I the first to get an award in our family?" And she just laughed, So, they're incredibly proud, but they keep me very grounded. I can see a large pile of washing up. So I think that's my treat for New Year's Eve afternoon.
Well, Martin, thank you very much for talking to us. Great news when I read it this morning. Delighted for you. I'm sure you will have a very happy new year. And I think I always say, whenever I talk to people in this situation, that the thanks of all those people who've listened to this programme, who've heard me bang on about rugby league in the South, and the way that it's going. And, it's thanks to you that it is going in the right direction, or thanks to you and people like you that it's going in the right direction. So once again, congratulations from everyone who's going to hear this. And I do hope you enjoy your new year, and I'm sure you look forward to receiving your award next year.
Well, can I share with you that every Sunday, the Medway Dragons Masters meet at 10:30 on a park called the Great Lines. And we're meeting tomorrow on New Year's Day. And there'll be loads of people of all ages playing rugby league, and I'm sure I'll get a couple of an extra fizz in some of the tackles which I have to take tomorrow morning. But anybody who's around on a Sunday morning in the Medway area is very welcome to come and join us.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy that tomorrow, and yes, there'll be more people wanting to plant a tackle on you, won't there, tomorrow?
Absolutely. I'll be waiting.
So that's Martin Coyd of the Medway Dragons, awarded, I should give him his official title, shouldn't I? Martin Coyd OBE. Congratulations to him. I hope you don't mind me passing on your congratulations to him, but I'm sure you'll agree with me and the work that he's done over the years and the work that he continues to do with Medway Dragons. Great to see a club going through such good times that they are, and again, not getting carried away with it. They're progressing slowly. They know where they want to go, but they're doing it bit by bit, and it's thanks to people like Martin that club continues to go from strength to strength. Great to see really good news stories in the Rugby League down south area, and also once again congratulations to Malcolm Kielty MBE, who received his honour from the Queen for his work in developing Wheelchair Rugby League. You heard Martin talk very, very highly of Malcolm. So Malcolm, congratulations to you, and maybe we'll have to try and chat with you on one of the Rugby League Down South episodes as we enter the new year. Happy New Year to all of the listeners for Rugby League Down South. Thank you for supporting the programme in this debut year in 2013. I do hope you'll continue to download the programmes in 2014. There will be plenty of them, and I'm back on the case of the Broncos very, very soon, getting you the news, hopefully, of a successful campaign in 2014. It just depends, I guess, on how you would judge successful. But the news on the way very, very soon. And also, of course, Capital Challenge with Scholars and Hemel and all the news from them on the way in future episodes of Rugby League Down South. But thank you for downloading this episode, and once again, Happy New Year.